Welcome to Raven TV. I'm your host, Josh.
And I'm Natalie, your other host.
And in this episode, we're going to be covering Eastside's badminton, their hockey, the swimming team, and also the arts in the school. And I've actually seen the art gallery myself. Like, it's actually pretty cool with all the stuff they've been doing.
That's good. I haven't had a chance to go yet,
Oh.
unfortunately, but I'll hopefully do that today.
They have a bunch of stuff that's actually really neat. And I've seen them badminton. I've actually seen them grow in popularity a bit, which is actually, interesting in my opinion.
But yeah, badminton is not a very well known sport in schools, and it's also not as popular and not as many people play it.
Yeah, but I've seen classmates in a few of my classes that are in badminton. They're like, I've never seen them really do a sport. I'm like, oh wow,
That's good.
It's growing. Yeah.
So what about the hockey team?
Actually don't know that much about the hockey team.
Neither do I, unfortunately. I do know that this one is a very popular sport within school.
Yeah, and especially with swimming because I saw there was a competition a few
Yes.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I guess we can just let the viewers get to the show, and we'll see
Yeah.
you at the end.
Hi, I'm Olivia,
And I'm Sadie.
and we're with Raven TV, and today we're talking to Astrid, who just went to OFSA for swimming. So how did it go?
It was really good. It was the first time I've ever been to OFSA. It was a huge meet at the Toronto Pan Am Pool in Scarborough. There was way more people than I anticipated. It's a really huge kind of pool. They've got 3 different pools there. It's just really huge and kind of overwhelming, but it was a really good experience.
So, for those who don't know, what is OFSA?
In almost every school sport, I think, there's different levels of competition. So you have your regionals, which was Bay of Quinte for us. And then if you get, I think, 3rd or higher, you can qualify for CASA. And then after that, if you make certain times, you can qualify for OFSA. And I think OFSA might be the highest you can really go.
So leading up to OFSA, how often did you practice and where?
So the swim team practices 2 times a week at the Wellness Center and 1 kind of optional practice at the YMCA, just by the school.
What are you working on in your practices?
I qualified for both CASA and OFSA I qualified for CASA for multiple races, but I qualified for OFSA for just 1 race, and that was the 200-meter freestyle relay. So in my last practices leading up to OFSA, I've been working a lot on freestyle and practicing that.
And how big is the team? Are there any changes from this year and last year?
We definitely lost a few people last year, but we've had a lot of grade 9s who are really excited to join the team. It's a relatively big team, and I think we had 13 people qualify for OFSA this year.
Is that a big amount of people?
Honestly, yeah, OFSA is pretty hard to qualify for. So yeah, we had a good amount of people going to OFSA this year.
Are you involved in any other clubs or sports at Eastside?
Not really. Swimming is kind of all I do. I'm really involved in drama and theater, but I'm not really involved in many other sports teams.
Well, thank you for talking to us, and thank you for watching.
Welcome back to Raven TV. My name is Neva, and I'm here with.
Ignore.
So, Ignore, I hear that you are participating in the art exhibition at the Belleville Public Library. Do you mind telling me a bit about that?
So I was asked to give in my 2 artworks. It's a drawing of flowers for my moon and a painting called Venice Nights.
So how long have you been working on these pieces of art?
I started around maybe before the winter break, and I remember spending around 14 hours just painting Venice Nights.
What were your inspirations for the pieces?
My inspirations were I enjoy taking pictures when I travel, and I took for Venice Nights, that was a picture I took in my first night in Venice. And with Flowers for My Moon, that was a picture I found of flowers that looked really beautiful.
So were these projects a part of your art class in school, or were they individual projects?
They were projects from my art class.
Do you have any specific artists that inspire you?
Not really. I tend to look at multiple artists and collect ideas from all of them.
Have you been into art for a long time, or is it something recent?
I've been into art for a really long time. I remember back in middle school, I used to draw a ton.
So back to the exhibition. When will it be, and what will your role be there?
My role for the exhibition is just hanging my art up and letting people view the artwork I've created. And I know it's on Thursday.
This Thursday?
Next Thursday. But yeah.
Do you have any other hobbies that may like impact your art, or?
I enjoy crocheting, though I'm not good at it. And I do play the guitar a bit, so I like to incorporate some music or like music notes into art.
Are you experimenting with anything new in your art, like different mediums, or?
I'm trying to experiment more with watercolor and like the different techniques with it, like using like rubbing alcohol and putting it and so it spreads the water.
Are you working on any projects currently?
Not at the moment.
No?
No.
What are your aspirations post-secondary? Do you wish to continue art?
Well, I wish to continue art as a hobby, and for post-secondary, I really hope I can become a lawyer for.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you're still going to continue.
Of course.
Yes. So a bit more about the art class that you took last semester, was it?
Yeah.
Was it solely individual, or were there collaborative aspects to it as well, you found?
It was mainly individual, where we would separate into like separate sections of the room, and we would just work on our artwork.
What was your favorite piece of art that you made last semester?
My favorite piece of art is probably Flowers for My Moon. It took a really long time to create.
Why is that piece so special to you?
I find that just drawing with graphite pencil is my strongest point, and just like I put a lot of hard work into it. That's why.
So do you have any tips for people who are looking to get into art or maybe want to show their art?
Well, any tips is that don't be afraid to experiment, and if something messes up, don't worry. You can just try to fix it or just use it and go like experiment more with that.
Thank you. So we'll see you at the art interview next Thursday. Thanks for watching Raven TV, and thanks for being here.
Hello and welcome to Raven TV, and we have another segment going on right now with varsity hockey. Here we have Kevin Lane, captain of the Eastside Ravens men varsity hockey team. And what was your outlook on the season? What do you want to improve on in the future? Some of your goals?
So I'm grade 12. I'm done with hockey so far. I hope that next year the team will improve. There's a lot of strong grade 11s, and I know a couple grade 9s. My brother will be grade 9 next year, so he'll be on the team hopefully. I hope that they have a really strong season next year and have enough members on the team to have a strong squad, I guess.
So, of course, playing your last year of varsity hockey, you've obviously went through some very interesting moments. What are some of your favorite moments from this season?
This year was probably the co-ed hockey tournament. I really liked that experience because it was the only time that we we were on the same level as a bunch of other teams, and I got to meet a couple new people. So, yeah, and a day from school, that's always good. So, we played only with the girls' hockey team a couple times before that, but we played really well in the tournament. Mr. Lynch, well, last year, we actually went to the same tournament, but we played in the men's only division, and that didn't go too well. So I think it was really good that we went this year because between the two teams we had a lot of people. So it's quite different from our regular hockey games where we only have maybe 10 people on the bench. So yeah, it was a good tournament all around.
Tough times sometimes throughout the hockey career. Explain to the people that really supported you during your hockey career.
Yeah, I'd say mostly my parents, my teammates as well. Even if some of my teammates aren't playing, they're there behind the glass supporting me. Sometimes there are some student fans as well that come out to the games, but not many, except for the St. T's hockey games. The whole school's there.
Of course. Well, that's going to cover it for another segment of Raven TV. We'd like to thank you for watching this segment. Let's go on to another.
We have badminton coach and now retired teacher, Mr. Doyle.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Of course. So, Mr. Doyle, Do you see any promising candidates this year for badminton?
Well, absolutely. Every year you do. And so I'm assisting my wife, Mrs. Doyle, and she's been retired her 3rd year of retirement. And this is my first month and a half of retirement. I retired at the end of January 31st of 2024. So when you see students come in for the first time, and some of them have very, very limited experience on the badminton court, it doesn't take long before they start to feel a little bit more comfortable how to hold the racket and so forth. And we do have some very talented players from the junior team and the senior team. So we feel confident that we'll have a respectable showing with Bay of Quinte.
Yep. And we also, speaking of the prior years, from the people who moved up and now are into senior, they have much more challenges and much more difficulties with the other experienced players.
Well, you're going to find as you progress up through and as you get older and you're playing better players, it's technique, and a lot of it is footwork. You have to have a good, solid basis for your footwork. If you don't have good footwork and understand the importance of it, you're always chasing, you're always on the defensive. Very rarely are you going to win a game at that level without having very good footwork. So the idea, if you can get your opponent to start to run one way or the other, you've got them, because all that momentum and vector going in one direction, you're going to hit the bird over here, the shuttlecock over here. And so the idea is that you're going to lunge, you're going to cross over lunge, you're going to shuffle lunge. You want to be able to cover the court without running too hard in one direction. So the footwork is very, very key.
Yeah, and it's especially deadly when they aim for the corners.
Well, that's the whole idea, is that if you hit it to your opponent all day, when then you're making it very easy for them to be offensive and so forth. When you start hitting the corners, and that's what we're practicing tonight, is going for the corners and understanding singles and doubles, is that make them work for it, make them move. That's going to take a lot of energy, and it puts them more on the defensive end of the play rather than setting up and starting to smash it at you and so forth. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Doyle, for your time, and thank you for being on the show.
Great, thank you. Good luck.
Hello, my name is Jackson Payne with Raven TV, and this is
Allison Turan.
So, Allison, how old are you, and what grade are you in?
I'm 17 years old, and I'm in grade 12.
So that would make you a senior?
Yes.
So, what are you playing, singles, doubles, or mixed?
I'm doing girls singles.
Girls singles. So, how do you feel about this current season?
I'm feeling pretty good. This is my first year ever doing singles. Previous years I've always done mixed doubles, so I'm a little nervous because I've never done singles before, but I'm excited to try something new.
That's cool. And for like the divisions that you play in, it goes from pre-Bay to Bay of Quinte, and then how does like all the ranking and stuff work?
So from pre-Bay to Bay of Quinte, so for pre-Bay you take the top 4 teams, then after Bay of Quinte it's the first top team, and then from Bay of Quinte and Casa and Offset it's just the top team from all of Quinte and then moving forward. There's definitely things I can always improve on. I've never played outside of school. I've only ever played in school, so definitely there's been so many things I've improved on just since starting in grade 10, I guess. But I definitely need to work on my smashing and not just hitting it up for the other team to hit down.
So thank you, Allison, for coming onto the show today, and hope you do well in your badminton.
Thank you.
That was actually a pretty good show.
I think so.
Yep. And as always, this is Raven TV with your hosts, Josh and
Natalie.
And yeah, we'll see you next month.
Go! My position is goaltender. Right now I'm playing left wing. Defense. Typical practice starts off with some skating, regular drills,